What's up, guys? It's your boy Fiskitti here, and welcome back to another video here on the internet. So I recently watched the Cyberpunk anime, and I was considering not actually making this video, but I figured why not. So this is actually probably my first time playing, consuming a piece of cyberpunk media, a piece of media in the cyberpunk genre. I've mostly been on the fantasy side of things pretty much all my life, and within other like subgenres within the sci-fi realm of things. So this is my first time watching something cyberpunk related for the most part, and I liked it, but also it was really claustrophobic the entire time, if you know what I mean. Like, I think that was the point though. Like Night City, the city where it takes place, it's not stutter. It's not supposed to be a safe place. It's not supposed to feel like home. You're not supposed to feel safe. It's a very crummy place to be. You don't want to be there. And that's kind of the point of the show. It's like you don't want to be there, but you have to be there. And I'm assuming really just the genre in general. But anyway, the basic so the show, if you don't know much about the show or the game, the show is based around the game Cyberpunk 2077, and it follows this kid named David who is in this like super prestigious company in Night City. He's going to a super prestigious academy, which is like owned by a super like high up company called Arasaka in Night City. And he's not like, his family isn't the most financially stable, so his mom is like working really hard to send David to Arasaka Academy, and you know, to try and give him a better shot at life and whatnot, especially in such a terrible city. And so, minor spoiler, it happens in the first episode, so it's not the biggest spoiler, but his mom dies, and so he ends up, you know, because he's kind of a misfit in such a nice school with such fancy people, he ends up getting expelled from the academy for reasons that I won't say, and he ends up coming into contact with this gang of cyberpunks, and he ends up joining them to pay off a debt that his mother actually owed the gang, for something David did from his mom dying. Anyway, so that's the basis of the story. So the animation was really good. There were a lot of really like over the top, super like whack over the top fight scenes that were really well choreographed and just really well done. There were a few still shots. I don't know why this stood out to me, but there are a few like still shots, and you know how like in a lot of like still shots, it'll like point at the eye or like someone's face real close for a long period of time to like build suspense or whatever, and like usually within like the eye or like the sweat bubble, there will be this like flickering white thing to like show that there's still motion and it's not just a still image. Yeah, this didn't have that. Like, it doesn't really impact the show at all. The animation outside of this and the art within these still shots is still great, but it just stood out to me for some reason because it's just a still image when it has those sequences, those moments, and it doesn't have the like little flickering stuff. But anyway, animation good, combat good, or not combat, this is in a video game. Fighting sequences, character design. The character design was really awesome. I love the character designs, especially David, Lucy, and Rebecca were my three favorite. I can't pick one. They're just all so good. I love them so much. There's also a lot within their character designs that kind of get shown off in ways that wouldn't really make sense in others, or that could fit in other settings, but wouldn't really have as much of an impact as they do in this one, because there are a lot of scenes where it kind of like shows off a lot of their cyberware, and in a lot of cases it kind of, one, it feels pretty natural, and two, it shows, especially with David, it shows like how much cyberware and how they've put into their body and how much they've transformed their body over time and how much it's impacting them. And also, speaking of cyberware, they handle cyberpsychosis really well, I feel. But yeah, I feel like how they handle cyberpsychosis, I feel like it's really well done. There are some scenes in like a specific episode I'm thinking of where it straight up, I don't know what it is. It feels like it reminds me of some sort of 90s animation. I can't quite place what it is, but it feels like something from the 90s. There's this Green Lantern Green Arrow comic that came out in the 80s that my buddy Patrick was telling me about, where there's I haven't read it, so I don't know much about it, but it's all about how like there's a character that's like a drug addict, and it's all about how like instead of, you know, demonizing these people who are using drugs, you like trying to understand them and like help them through it. And it came out at a very significant time because it was in like the mid 80s, and it was kind of sending this message in a time where like people demonized people who use drugs and like drug addicts. It was sending this like message of don't demonize people who use drug addicts, try to like help them and like sympathize with them. And I feel like you'll see what I mean if and when you watch the show, but I feel like there's some very similar stuff in Cyberpunk, and I feel like it's handled really well. Oh yeah, the soundtrack. I thought the soundtrack was really good too. I personally didn't really like the intro. I thought the intro was kind of lame, to be honest. Like, the animation is so help me. The animation is good. It feels a little boring. Like, just the entire intro sequence just feels kind of off, I guess. I don't know. I didn't like the intro a whole lot, but the outro was great, especially after like finishing an episode. When it starts playing the outro, one, the song is really good. Two, like the scenes it shows are really good, and just like the overall mood of that song. I think it's called "Let You Down." Yeah, just the theme, not theme. The overall like mood of that song is just so fitting for like finishing an episode of this show. But yeah, also the like other soundtracks, the more like song, like radio song type soundtracks, like songs you would actually listen to, I thought there are some bangers in there. Like Stay at Your House. Gosh, it took me so long to think of that name. Anyway, Stay at Your House, that was a really good song. There are some other iconic songs in there. I can't remember them, all of them, but that song was really good. The outro song was really good, I thought. And generally the general soundtracks, I thought, were generally pretty good. And very fitting to the setting. And there were also a lot of scenes. I realized as I was watching it, there were so many scenes that I just had already seen, like, out of context. Like, I feel like this is a very iconic show. And I think it's well deserved. The animation, like I say, freaking amazing. Animation is great. Soundtrack good. Story good. The story, I haven't touched on the story that much. Yeah, the story I feel like is pretty good. There's a specific theme that it kind of goes through that I won't touch too much on. But David, there's a theme of like David not following his own dream. You know, he ends up kind of trying to fulfill, in a weird way, he ends up trying to follow like his mother's dream and like dreams of other people who have left goals and aspirations for him that weren't his on his own. And so I feel like it handles that kind of theme really well. And just generally the storytelling I thought was good. Very from my little experience with Cyberpunk, very thematic, very suiting to the Cyberpunk genre. Anyway, I've ranted long enough. That I was a little iffy on the score initially, but the more I think about it, the more I'm like set on a score. And initially the thing that was gonna bring it down was like the claustrophobia. I don't know if that's accurate, but that claustrophobic feeling I was talking about earlier, that made me not want to give it as high a rating as I think it probably deserves. But I think all in all, I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. Good show. Go watch if you want, if you like Cyberpunk, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna. I don't really know exactly what to call this sort of like I want to do more of these reviews and stuff and hopefully get better at them because I'm not the best at commentary. But I want to do more of these like reviews and stuff, and for now I'm gonna call it a Gooberscore, kind of like a spoof on Gamerscore from Xbox. I just think that's goofy and fun. So I think I'm gonna call it that, but I don't know. I may change it eventually, but for now I'm gonna go with Gooberscore. I think that's just fun. Fun word for this little review series. Yeah, and hopefully I'll get a new avatar at some point soon. I gotta draw it though, and like I'm not very good with digital art, so I don't know how long that'll be. I also gotta like experiment with what I actually want it to look like. I want to keep the same like aesthetic and basic design features or like features of the character and kind of put it into a different style. We'll see how that goes and how long it takes. It might be 5,000 years before that happens. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Like and subscribe. Johnny! Bye-bye.